that rapid cybercrime evolution necessitates endpoint detection and response as opposed to just antivirus or anti-malware. Now, what are we talking about? Latest installment in Armata webinar series built on theme that cybersecurity threats could be material to organizations staying in business. Cybersecurity peers share share a joint purpose rather to protect organizations from threats and attacks that could be material to them staying in business. All right, and we are going to unpack that because as someone who also holds the technology, there is a lot of learning that I need to know. I'm dying to find out, what does this all mean? And I do have my guest on the line right now, who is head of product cybersecurity at Armata. It is Mr. Richard Frost. Good morning.
Good morning, Pelaine. Thanks for having me.
It's good to always chat to you, Mr. Frost. You need to unpack this for me, first of all, because as I'm introducing the topic, I'm like, okay, I need to hear more about this. This I didn't know. Could you provide us insight into the current cybersecurity landscape and the prevalent threats in the digital realm?
Yeah, 100%. I think if you look at whether you're a home user or whether you're a business user, ransomware and malware is becoming, more and more of an irritation. I was chatting to my mom over the weekend. She was talking about how she gets viruses and malware just downloading knitting patterns. So it is definitely something that affects anyone. If we look globally, just this month alone, there was a cloud computing firm in the States that had to do a $49 million settlement after their data breach. MGM Resorts, I'm sure everybody knows who that is in Vegas, $100 million loss on data theft. So it's a very relevant topic.
Sure. Wow. So are we saying that we all need cybersecurity, not just big businesses?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, whether you're a home user or a business user, some form of protection on the endpoint is a definite must.
But there's so many products out there, Mr. Frost. I mean, where does one even begin?
I think it determines the organization or the person that's looking. There are products that cater more for the home user. There's different Kaspersky home products, Bitdefender home products. But then from a corporate perspective, I think what we have learned is the old traditional anti-malware and antivirus solutions are no longer enough. And we have to start looking at products like EDR, which is endpoint detection response.
Okay.
And these ones look more at the behavior of an application and the user itself and start learning patterns about their behavior. So, for example, if I was very quiet at work, people probably say, "Are you okay?" Because I'm quite a talkative individual. And it's the same with your application. If your application is meant to just be used like an Excel spreadsheet, capturing data, but suddenly is talking to the internet a lot, there's something probably wrong with that spreadsheet.
All right. And can you share any additional insights then or statistics that you might have that highlight the urgency for organizations to adopt their cybersecurity strategies? You just mentioned an example of an international company that lost a lot of money. But just how much damage do we have out there? And we're looking, I don't know if you have the South African context perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at a typical SMB, which is classified as 50 users or under in an organization in South Africa, the average claim from the cyber insurers, they reckon, is around 6.5 million rand. All right? Going larger into your enterprise space, your claims there are getting over 50 million rand. So there's obviously, a financial impact to that. Further, with Copia now, if there was data that was stolen during that attack, you could possibly face a Copia violation, and you could get either fined or even imprisoned for your sort of lack of, protection. If you don't have any evidence that you tried to at least prevent it, you could be held liable for a Copia infringement.
All right, my guest this morning, Head of Product Cybersecurity at Armata, Mr. Richard Frost, and we are talking about cybersecurity. For people, maybe it could have been what we need to maybe simplify it at the beginning. I think for me, I was just eager to find out just how dire maybe the situation is. So cybersecurity in basic term would be that having a software in your device, perhaps if, your laptop, for example, just to make sure that people don't have access to your information or they don't steal data that they can use against you. Am I correct? Or steal
That's
from
correct.
you?
Yeah, and I think it's probably made more prevalent by the fact that a lot of our users are starting to work from home, so they don't have the protection of the company anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's made even further worse by the fact that we have load shedding. So you find your users are now trying to go to coffee shops to use their free internet while they're in load shedding. And now you have even more of a risk.
Okay, so I'm always one that is, I'm very, what's the English word I'm looking for? I'm an pessimist, and I'm very, very, I worry a lot, especially when I have to use Wi-Fi to access my banking app. Can I get hacked from using just Wi-Fi at the airport, for example?
You can indeed. I think a lot of us actually trust the free Wi-Fi services that are available. And if you're not signing through some kind of a login page that's a recognized institution like the airport company, if you were at the airport, you could actually be logging into a threat actor's Wi-Fi, and they could have what's known as a sniffer on that, and they could be actually interrogating all your data. And I've actually seen it first world where somebody logged into the company while sitting at a coffee shop, and the threat actor stole their credentials and then went and logged into the company's internet system and actually stole information that way.
Sure.
So you don't have the protective tools on your laptop that is actually protecting you while you're working there. You could very well be,
Oh, because then my follow-up question would have been, then what do I avoid? What must I avoid when they've got like a page where you must put your details?
Yeah, so I think if it's 100% free and accessible and there's nothing like a login page, most likely it is a threat actor. If you are logging through a login page, then just try and verify that it is actually the company that you're trying to get the internet site. Like Magazine will have a very specific website.
Yes.
Look for things like spelling mistakes and that. That's normally a dead giveaway. That's not actually the organization's website. And there's a lot of things that we train through user awareness training to make people aware of, what kind of risks there are when you're logging into a website, looking at the link that you're clicking, looking at the spelling, looking at grammar. That kind of stuff is normally a red flag to say something's wrong.
And so where can people find you for the training that you are alluding to or just mentioned in terms of the, getting the breakdown of what to do exactly?
So from my perspective, if you were to approach our organization, Armata, we normally have different types of training available to customers. There are other programs for home users as well. But typically in an organization, it's kind of a program that you'd want to run on a continuous basis. So you'd have almost like a monthly training. And then what we also do is we actually follow up with a simulation attack. So we actually test the employers and how much they've learned by sending an email that might entice them to click a link, and that link is potentially malicious. And if they click it, just highlight, that the training was not sufficient, and then we just put them into a more advanced training session. It's not there really to smack them over the fingers for clicking the link, but more just to kind of warn them of how quickly, we can catch you out.
So considering the dynamic nature of cybercrime, what are the primary takeaways then for businesses regarding the importance of EDR in securing their systems and data as our parting point this morning?
I think if you look at any organization, the biggest issue that you're going to have with something like a ransomware or any other form of malware is the fact that it can be disruptive to your business. It will take you offline and you won't be able to work, which means you're not generating income. The second thing is, depending on the damage caused, if there was a substantial data loss and people's details were stolen from your organization, there's a potential reputation, that could be impacted by that. And businesses go out of business because of a loss of reputation. And then, like I was saying, you've got the POPIA to it now, which means that you could then get slapped on the knuckles for, losing that data in the first place. So I think organizations need to start becoming more aware and more accountable. And I think, we're putting the laws in place to try and help organizations be accountable for their actions. But I think we as human beings should actually be more responsible with that data. It does have a large impact on the standard user. You can imagine if you're an e-commerce platform where people were buying goods and I now steal details about you from that. I can have your ID, I can have your email address, I can have your credit card details. You could then go and do follow-up crime by using that information to attack that individual directly.
Can we share the details? Should they go to the website? What's your website at Armata?
It's www.armata, armata.co.za.
All right. Thank you so much, Richard, for educating us this morning and most importantly, taking time out this morning to also talk to us about this.
Absolute pleasure, Kulang, and I hope you have a great day further.
Likewise. It's the head of product at cybersecurity at Armata, Mr. Richard Frost, bringing us to 11:30 this morning on Tech Africa. We are cruising very, very nicely. I hope that you know that it's not a one-sided conversation that we are having. We also want you to be part of it. The number to dial or to send a voice note to or to text us to or to call us even is +27 63 406 9126.